Master Dugu Zan explained that the legacy of the Blood Battle Hall is incredibly ancient, stretching back to the very foundation of their sect. Since those primordial days, the disciples of this hall have carried a singular mandate, which is to confront and repel external threats. He emphasized that the Saint Yuan Demon Sect has endured and stood firm through the ages not due to mere fortune, but because of the countless trials and battles it has weathered over time. Therefore, while the Mountain Protection Array serves as a defensive shield guarding the sect's borders, the Blood Battle Hall operates on a completely different philosophy. They never wait to be cornered or attacked. Instead, they take the initiative to strike first, preemptively wiping out adversaries before they can even approach their territory to ensure no threat remains. This revelation brought complete clarity to Zhao Mu, who finally realized how the Blood Battle Hall truly functions. Yet, despite understanding the explanation, curiosity got the better of him and he could not help but question his master. With a mix of hesitation and intense curiosity, he asked if a demon sect was truly suited for such a passionate, direct, and aggressive way of doing things. Hearing this, Dugu Zan burst into laughter. It was obvious to him that Zhao Mu held a specific stereotype about the demon sect, likely imagining its members to be universally cunning, treacherous, and willing to employ any underhanded tactic just to achieve victory. Breaking into a light sweat, Zhao Mu spoke up nervously. Feeling a bit embarrassed but remaining straightforward, he asked if that was not actually the case. He added that since he himself had been abducted and brought here by an outer disciple of the Saint Yuan Demon Sect, it was difficult for him to form any other impression. Dugu Zan paused to reflect on those words. After a brief silence, he conceded that the rest of the world indeed shared that exact same perspective of the Saint Yuan Demon Sect. Rather than denying it, he explained that this reputation was partly because they had resided deep within the myriad demon forest for so long. Because they rarely interacted with other cultivation forces, the misconceptions outsiders held about them only intensified. In fact, he further noted that neither the demon race nor the human race ever truly comprehended the benevolent intentions of the Saint Yuan Patriarch when the sect was first established. This deeply intrigued Zhao Mu. A hint of wonder appeared on his face as he inquired further, asking if this meant there was a specific, profound reason why the Saint Yuan Patriarch chose to establish the Saint Yuan Demon Sect in this exact location. However, before their conversation could delve any deeper, Dugu Zan abruptly cut it short. He simply stated that they had arrived at their destination. They immediately stepped inside the Blood Battle Hall, where they were instantly greeted by a vibrant and bustling scene. Numerous cultivators were deeply engrossed in their training, executing every movement, strike, and display of power with absolute conviction and zero hesitation. Zhao Mu noticed this right away. From a simple glance, he could distinctly feel that every individual present possessed an overwhelming pressure. The aura radiating from these disciples was heavy, sharp, and brimming with an intense fighting spirit. This place truly lived up to its name as the Blood Battle Hall, a sanctuary forged entirely for real combat. As Zhao Mu continued to observe his surroundings, two figures suddenly approached and caught his attention. Those two individuals were Xing Ziyu and Xiao Wugui. Upon reaching them, the duo bowed respectfully to greet their master. Without missing a beat, Dugu Zan formally introduced the two to Zhao Mu. He explained that one was his eldest senior brother, Xiao Wugui, who currently held the 9th rank on the prestigious Heavenly Genius ranking. The other was his second senior sister, Xing Ziyu. Upon hearing the introduction, Zhao Mu immediately showed his respect, greeting them properly with the deference expected of a junior disciple. Right after that, Dugu Zan called for Xiao Wugui and commanded him to assist in retrieving the Wuji bell. Xiao Wugui was slightly puzzled by the order. He could not help but ask if it was truly necessary for them to utilize that particular artifact. Hearing the hesitation, Dugu Zan glared at him with clear annoyance, sharply asking if Xiao Wugui believed that the personal disciple he intended to take in lacked the talent to undergo the trial of the Wuji bell. In an instant, cold sweat broke out across Xiao Wugui's face. Visibly shaken by his master's reaction, he vigorously shook his head and quickly backpedaled. "Not at all, master," he responded hastily. He then immediately added that he would go and fetch the Wuji bell right away. However, just before he departed alongside Dugu Zan, he could not resist letting out a sharp breath, casting a slightly annoyed sidelong glance at Zhao Mu. Once the two had left, Zhao Mu scratched his cheek in utter confusion. He asked with bewilderment if he had somehow offended senior brother Xiao Wugui. Xing Ziyu immediately reassured him, telling him not to take it to heart because that was simply how senior brother Xiao Wugui always behaved. As soon as she said that, she suddenly wrapped her arm around Zhao Mu's. She remarked that she had heard rumors about him possessing the pure yang body. She did not stop there, leaning in to whisper the words as though they were sharing a profound, intimate secret. The extreme proximity of her voice and her suggestive tone caused Zhao Mu's cheeks to flush crimson instantly. Then, she directly asked a very forward question, inquiring if he was truly exceptionally capable when it came to that particular trait. The moment he heard the question, Zhao Mu recoiled in sheer embarrassment. He clearly did not anticipate the conversation turning so incredibly uninhibited so quickly. He could not help but point out to his senior sister that they had only just met, yet her inquiry was already intensely private. This reaction only amused Xingziu further. To her, this new junior brother was thoroughly entertaining to tease. With a playful smile on her face, she mentioned that his senior sister merely wanted to experience what his pure yang body felt like. She lamented that it was quite a pity she was already married, teasingly adding that Zhao Mu had simply arrived a few steps too late. Hearing this left Zhao Mu with nothing to do but swallow hard in awkwardness. However, after a brief moment, a slight smile crept onto his face. He slowly leaned closer to senior sister Xingziu and looked at her intently. He remarked that she still looked incredibly young and full of youthful vitality, making it quite a surprise that she had married so early in life. Xingziu sounded a bit self-conscious as she replied, revealing that she was actually 200 years old. And she had not just married once. Not even just a couple of times. But rather, many times over. Unfortunately, she claimed to have terrible luck with husbands, as every single one of them ended up living a short life. She expressed that whenever she shared this story with others, she felt like a bitter old woman weighed down by tragic experiences. Yet despite everything, she confessed that she had still never truly experienced the ultimate bliss of the world. Upon hearing this revelation, Zhao Mu recoiled once again. This time, beads of sweat formed on his forehead from sheer anxiety and dread. 9 consecutive husbands had all met their demise. In the depths of his mind, a terrifying conclusion swiftly took shape. The woman standing before him was likely a predatory black widow monster. Yet before his imagination could wander any further, Xingziu suddenly pulled him close. Pressing her face against his chest, she told him not to be so self-conscious because she was merely teasing him. With a bright smile, she revealed that she was actually only 27 years old. She claimed she was still just an innocent young lady. Zhao Mu could only manage a forced smile upon hearing this declaration. Deep down, he could not help but wonder if a single word coming out of senior sister Xingziu's mouth was actually true. However, their conversation did not last much longer. Dugu Zan and Xiao Wagui suddenly returned, carrying a massive bell that radiated a brilliant gleam of light. Dugu Zan immediately approached Xingziu and sternly told her to stop teasing and playing tricks on Zhao Mu. She agreed instantly, acting as though she had not caused any trouble at all. Meanwhile, catching sight of the immense bell, Zhao Mu could not help but gaze at it with wonder. He quickly inquired about the actual purpose of the Wuji bell. Dugu Zan explained that the Wuji bell was a trophy they had claimed long ago after a fierce battle inside an ancient secret realm. Although the artifact had sustained permanent damage over time, it still retained the power of a second-grade artifact. Even if it could no longer be utilized in actual combat, it still possessed a remaining unique capability. It had the power to measure a cultivator's latent potential. After sharing that, Dugu Zan explained that he wanted to evaluate the current state of Zhao Mu's talent and foundation first. Only after assessing those traits would he decide whether to impart the War Heaven Battle Earth technique to him. Zhao Mu understood his master's intention perfectly. He had no further questions. Moments later, Dugu Zan commanded him to unleash his full might and directly strike the Wuji bell. Zhao Mu immediately prepared himself. He swiftly gathered a golden energy into his fist. The power gradually condensed tightly around his knuckles as the aura radiating from his body grew increasingly intense. Following that, he punched the Wuji bell with all his might. At the exact moment of impact, a tremendously powerful yet completely silent shockwave suddenly erupted outward. The bizarre ripple of energy surged through the entire area, instantly startling everyone present. It did not simply stop within the confines of the Blood Battle Hall. The shockwave continued to expand far beyond the walls of the hall. It rippled past the distant borders of the sect and even reached a certain being who was currently meditating with closed eyes in a faraway place. This entity suddenly snapped its eyes open. The being resided in a desolate area that was on the verge of collapsing from sheer destruction. The moment it sensed the peculiar manifestation of energy, it muttered in a low voice that the human emperor had finally emerged. It noted that when the young lady found out about this, she would surely be pleased. Yet alongside those words, its tone suddenly grew heavy. It murmured that it was a pity. It was all too late. Because destiny had been sealed long ago. And once fate is etched in stone, absolutely no one can alter it. Following that, the scene shifted deep into the myriad demon forest. In that region, numerous demons were gathering together while enveloped in a thick crimson energy. Standing at the very front of the horde was their leader. Its voice was low but heavy as it questioned the others if they had also felt the sudden emergence of the human emperor. Its tone held no reservation regarding the sheer gravity of the event. It remarked that the skies of the entire immortal martial continent were about to change.
The chapter ends here. Watch out for our upcoming uploads. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you'll always be updated on our future videos.